Actually, here, let's do this. Let's start it off like this because so many people get so upset. You gotta use the tools against them that you were given. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to break this down so that we can destroy the spell on it by giving you the science behind it so that you no longer are able to be put under the spell of demons and things. Okay, this is what I consider to be clickbait. The reason I'm doing this is because they wanted to restrict my live, so now I'm going to give them a reason to. Now we're going to talk about some things that are fucking up everybody mentally. Right? So, just give it a minute to wait for a few people to get in here, and once the people get back in here, then we'll start moving forward. But we're going to show you that this is Jesus. Literally. Okay, this comes from the same symbology right here. Okay. Oh, the minerals from the video. I did a second video explaining how to find that stuff. It's not that hard. Alright, so we're just going to give it a minute and, you know, let the people come back in here that were just in the last live. So what's going on? How's everybody doing? Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure you have my book already. It should have that chart with it. If you got the digital copy. It has the chart that tells you all the minerals and things that go with each part of the different astrology. Yeah, Rainchild, you missed it because they were restricting my live because I was speaking on a certain group of people's idol. And they didn't like me speaking on it, so they restricted it like 3 times over. They're like, oh, no, we're not going to let you talk about that. So, this one, we're going to dive in a little bit further on some controversial subjects, and we're going to make it so that they no longer are able to curse people with this image. Right? We're going to remove the spell on it and give you the biology of it, which it really represents. That way you can understand what it was truly created for instead of all these crazy-ass stories that they give you to make you operate your life in fear. Right? This has nothing to do with Satan. This has nothing to do with Baphomet. This has nothing to do with demons. This has nothing to do with devils. This has nothing to do with paganism. You know, what else are they going to come in here screaming at me about? I think that's about it. I think that's as far as it goes. Yeah, this has nothing to do with none of that, right? This has everything to do with something internal. And I can prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. It only takes a few short seconds. So, you know, I guess since TikTok is sitting here fucking restricting my stuff, I wonder if this one's restricted too. No, it seems like this one's good to go. All right, right. So let's talk about it, right? This right here, matter of fact, here, let me show you like this, because this might work a little better. Let's go in here, close this off, boop, and I'm pretty sure I've already got it set up in here somewhere, but I need to get a picture of a brain next to it. Let me see. So I'm pretty sure I already broke it down once or twice. All right, right, give me this one right here. All right, now I need to insert an image. Insert a photo, please. And let's go to anatomy. And then I need a picture of the brain. Let's see if we can find a good one. I need it on a specific angle. Watch, I'm going to show you something. You're going to be like, oh. Okay. Like, you really can't say nothing else about it once you see it like this. I just need to find one at the right angle to show you. You know what? I think this one will do. Yeah, we'll take this one right here. All right, watch this shit. Look. All right, let's get that in there. Let's blow this up a little bit. Go like this, and then we're just gonna take off half of it. Okay, I think we're getting there. All right, there we go. Now let's get all this extra shit out the way too. Now give me this. Now we're going to shrink this down. There we go. Okay. It's not perfect one, but it'll do. You'll get the point. Let me see, I gotta spin this the right way. Just like so. Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Bink. Go back to this eraser real quick. Just make it a little smaller. Half it. Alright, there we go. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Alright, so let's go up another layer because I'm going to draw this out for you so you can really see it. Let's make this a little bit brighter. All right, look, check this out, right? If you notice, right, it goes like this, and then there's this flap that comes forward. It comes down this way, comes up. And look, right where the nose is. Okay. And right where this split is, you have the arch. All right. So, let me get rid of this part. Look, check this out, right? Go like this. Bring it around again. Following the face. All right. If you notice, the hair. I'll just draw the hair in for you. Is the other side of the cerebellum, right? The mouth is where your pons is, which is the thing that everything pours from. All right. Notice how the cerebellum and the hair are at the same spots. Oh, and look at this. Notice how it matches. Okay, do you see that? Like, you get the point, right? You get what you like. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm trying to show you here. We're gonna take it even further here in a second, but if you see it, let me know. Okay, you can see it. All right, good shit. You can see it. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this section. Now we're gonna remove this layer. Move up another layer. Why didn't it disappear? This is what we need to disappear. Go back to this one. Give me this. All right, so check this out, right? Now look, that's looking at it, the whole brain. Okay, so this is the whole brain down here from the underside, right? It's underneath. I gotta make sure I'm on the right layer. Bloop. All right, so this is the whole brain. Now, to reinforce that even further, we're going to go back to this image real quick. Collections, albums, this one right here. I want you to realize what these animals are. Okay? The brain. The lamb, the goat. Okay? It's the brain. Whether it be the goat is the internal, which is your lateral ventricles. Okay? That's what these are right here. Okay? These are known as Amun's horn. You follow? Okay, this is Amun's horn. That's what he represents. Okay, the serpent that sits on top is the central sulcus, which is the part that sits, that's the river, right? Your central sulcus. Okay, that's the serpent sitting on top. Okay, so now we go back to this image. Right? So now you understand exactly why they chose the ram. Now, typically, right now I want you to notice something. You see this here? All right, everybody always looks at the star, but they always leave out this point right here. The reason they leave that out is because if they didn't, you wouldn't be able to see it. Boop. Boop. Sorry, it goes up like that. And then this would be the star. Okay, that's the 5-pointed star. Okay, that's the star. That's this star down here. Okay, and we know that it is because it's where? Right next to your cerebellum. You know, this part right here. Once again, the hair is where the cerebellum is. Okay. That's this section here. All right. Now it goes up to the pillar that goes out, boop, like this with the 1, 2, 3 ports. All right. Oh, 1, the 2, and the 3, which leads you to this section. Okay. This right here is the flyer that you see. This is the fire that sits on top of this pillar. That's that. All right. Now, you have the horns. And then you have the ears. Okay, that's this, all right? Now, if you don't know, your brain has 5 lobes. All right, so if the horns are going up, which equals vertical, and they're inside the circle, right? So it's in, right? So that's inverted. All right, so if it's up and in, it's in and vertical, which means that the brain has been opened. Okay, you're looking at the inside of the brain, and it's been opened vertically, so that flips it upside down. It's like this. Okay, that's how you're looking at it right now. It's like this. Okay, up and in. All right, so you're seeing inside of it. Okay, so you have the 5-pointed star that's upside down. It's inverted because it's the inside and you're looking at it vertically. So you have the 5 points, which are your frontal, occipital, perennial, limbatic, and your cerebellum. Okay? So, what you're looking at is the brain being opened up. All right? So this has nothing to do with a demon. This has nothing to do with sacrifice. Well, it does, but not the way that you think, right? And it has nothing to do with the devil, except for the fact that you lived. Right? So, you know, all these stories that they give you behind these things, making it so that, you know, all you see is destruction when you look at these type of things, is the very thing that gives them the power that they need in order to subdue you on a regular basis with their mythology and their bullshit. Okay? Hey, what up, Blazing? Now, so what do you think this is right here? Anybody? Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you follow along so far. I just need to... we're getting there. I seen one answer. Which is peace. But where does peace come from? It is as above. Look, there's a common mistake that people make. It's not as above, so below. It's not a mirror image. Okay, it's not a mirror image. It's as above, of below. It's one and the same. That's a common mistake that people make. There you go, gut. There you go. I knew somebody was going to get it. Pink. Okay, it's your heart. That's your heart mudra. Okay. Now, because it's up and left, that means that it's traveling downwards. Okay. Now, feminine is transfer. Okay. Children, because it's what? Cleansed, clean. It's pure. There's no intention behind it. Okay. So, you have the transferring of the energies going down on the left side, whereas you have the physical energy, right? Because masculine is physical. Right, which returns on the right side, right? Well, let's get, look, right? See this right here? You see, you have your caduceus. You have the 2 serpents. Right? You have a left and the right side to your brain. Each serpent has a specific thing, on the staff, okay? Now, if you notice, the one that's on the back side is on the left, and that goes down. That's your pulmonary. The one that's on the front side, on the right, goes up. That's the ascending. Okay? Notice. Right? And these are the 2 serpents. The 2 serpents. The one that's on the left side, all right, goes back left, stays on the back side. See how the other one crosses in front of it? All right, you have the one on the right side that stays on the front right, whereas the one on the left side stays on the back side, continuing this. All right, it's a continuation of it. All right, now let's get you a little bit more of the image. Hold on one second. Okay, let me clear some of this out. Bloop. All right, right? So if you notice, the one that comes on the left side is staying on the back down. Notice how her hand stays to the back side. All right. Notice how on the left side it goes back. And then if you look at the legs, where's it going? It's pouring down. All right. Everything pours down on the left side. All right. So it's all just going down on the left. All right. And look, once it crosses paths, right? Because everything's about what? The christening, right? The cross. Your crossroads, right? If you notice on the right side, everything's kind of pointing upwards, isn't it? Up. Hand up to the heart. All right. And on the right side, stays on the front. Front, right, up, back, left, down. You get it? Now, for those of you that are in here to be angry about me because you think that that's Satan, let me show you something. If you're stabbed, it's going to go down on the backside on the left. Okay? See how they're receiving? See how the foot goes through the area where the hand is? Because they're receiving the foundation. All right, this is receiving. All right, and it's staying, look, pointing to the back left. Right, it's taking it and transferring it to the back left. Right, and look, here goes your caduceus. Right, it's just a different form of it. Right, and that's below. Hey, look, check this out. Look, symbolism. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why has he got like 12 toes? Could that possibly have something to do with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? See how this one's hidden? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. No, it looks like it. Hold on, let's draw it out. Let's double check. Because you're right, I might have been wrong. No, you're right. It was 5. I apologize. Good catch. Hey, everybody ain't perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gotta double check these things sometimes. Make sure it's all the way it's supposed to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You're correct. You're correct. It's only fucking 5. My mistake. I'm sorry. It looked a little blurry. But that doesn't change the rest of it. It still doesn't change the rest of it, my guy. Only because one thing that I say is incorrect does not debunk the whole entire thing. Because I want you to notice that this part that he's standing on, right, is the same thing you see here. Right above the same area. My mistake does not change the perfection of this. Now, I want you to notice something, right? It's a female. That's transfer. All right? You have the scruffy male. See how he's all scruffy? And then you have this cleanly looking guy over here. No, my credibility would be in check if I wasn't able to be corrected, my friend. That's when the credibility would be in check. But we all make mistakes. Remember, we are not perfect. So, the thing is that it goes from being dirty to being clean. Nicely cleaned up, right? Now, if you notice, what's traveling down on the left side, pointing for the back side, right, going down on the left, right? Whereas on the right side, if you notice, one, he's holding a book. What is a book? That's what? Wisdom, knowledge, right? And it's passing upwards. See, he's handing it off. Right? Now, this jug, right, the cup, and then he's cleansing the hearts. So it's going down on the back left side, and then gets cleaned, and then returns on the top right. Which means that this, no matter which one you look at, are both representations of the same exact thing. Because this is the way that the blood travels, right? Which is your caduceus, right? Right? And then the spinal column, and then the brain. You get me? So the symbols that they're putting in front of you, right? Hey, look, you ever seen the caduceus with the wings on them? Right? They always got them open wings, right? Right? Well, that's because mussels look like feathers, especially the ones that wrap around your rib cage. Oh yeah, obviously E4. You get me? This is nothing but proof of the Creator, because this proves that the things that are within you are reflected in everything that's around you in the first place. Right? So you know, the people that are in here trying to convince you that this has nothing to do with the Creator are basically the Antichrist. You get what I'm saying? Like, you get me? Like, you have to go against the Creator to go against these things, because these things are made out of the Creator's creation, and they show your unity between you and nature, which makes it so that nature reminds you how special you are every time that you see these things in nature. But you see how the church has them divided? You see what the church is doing to them, right? Like, you have a clear example of the type of problems that you're going to find in the church by the people that are of the church that are in here right now. Because although I've shown you irrefutable proof that this is internal and has nothing to do with a demon, it has nothing to do with a devil, it has nothing to do with a monster, it has nothing to do with something that controls the earth, all they've done so far is rebuke me. And they cannot see the things that you can see because they're blinded by spells. You get me? All they can see is the monsters that they were told about, but they missed the part in the book where it told you that the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the field were there for your knowledge. Right? They missed the part where they were supposed to learn from these things. And making it so that they're going to fail, right? That peephole, right? My peephole will perish for lack of knowledge. Perish. Perish. Right? They'll be dual-minded, all of them, in their ways. Because they're always going to be separated by good and evil instead of being able to see the truth. All right? You're supposed to be childlike in your mind. A child can walk up to something that you've been told was monstrous and destructive. I just seen a video of this little girl that was carrying a mountain lion up to her mom's house because she thought it was a giant cat, and the mom was freaking out, and the mountain lion was just chilling in the little girl's arms. Same ones with the little kids that go around picking up snakes. Same thing with the little kid. They don't see good and evil, right? And because they weren't taught good and evil, the same things that'll bite you now don't bite them, because they don't have that energy in them to let it's the energy that you give off that lets the animals know what they need to do when they're around you. You get me? Yeah, that innocence, exactly. Why you think there's children in this? Because it's innocence. It's unfazed. You're supposed to be childlike in your mind. Right? Think about that. You're supposed to be childlike in your mind, and you see two children here, but you, because of all the things that you've been given, the first thing that comes to your mind when you see these children here is sacrifice. You can't even see the good that it is. All right? Because you don't understand the feminine and the masculine. You understand the girl and the boy. Right? You're not supposed to walk in the flesh. You see what happens when you're walking in the flesh instead of the spirit? I think about that. You're supposed to be looking at the spirit of this. You're not supposed to be looking at the flesh of this. If you look at it from the flesh perspective, this is some fucking goat-headed monster with wings that's got two children following behind it. That's terrifying. But if you look at it for the spirit of what it is, this represents your brain. That represents the inside of your brain. This represents the transfer of the energies. This represents the transferring of it. And this represents the physical production of it. There's a big difference between the two. Right? There's a big difference between the two. Looking at this physically, oh, that's a demon and a fallen angel. Looking at this spiritually, that's the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the field that are there for your knowledge. You see how they're looking up to it to learn? None of you in the church can walk in the spirit. You see the flesh of everything. You're so worried about the flesh that you miss all of the fucking Creator's messages. Right? Meanwhile, you follow the Bible. Right? You're following the Bible. Yeah, but Harry B. Joseph is just a mirror of mine, and he doesn't do a very good job of it because he makes everybody walk away feeling like these things exist. No offense, but why do you think he switched his shit over to an iPad and a pencil and shit? He mirrors everything that I do, literally. I can show you the messages. Like that's my boy. Don't get me wrong, I love his pursuit for the truth, but he gets stuck on the good and the evil. Literally. He literally gets stuck on the good and the evil. That's where he stops. That's where he draws his line at. No, it's okay. It's all right. He's still learning. That's why he follows me. You get me? That's why he fucks with you. Hey, what up, Wood? What's good, bro? Good to see you back. But nah, that's my boy, yo. Don't get it twisted. He does his best, yo. He's doing his best to get through it. You get me? He's doing his best to get through it. You know, he's just got a little bit further to go. That's all. You get me? He's in his pursuit. He's trying to figure it all out. And that's a great thing. Like, you know, it takes a lot to try to figure these things out. It takes a lot to get through that duality bullshit. It takes a lot to unlearn all the things. Because if you go on the internet and you look around, all they do when they show you symbolism is, oh, this is the devil here, and they put the devil all around you, and there's demons everywhere, and there's possessions and da-da-da. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, at least he's in the pursuit of trying to find the truth, right? He's getting there, you know? It's just, you know, I gotta fix a lot of things like that they put out. like, you know, I gotta counteract that a little bit, you know? They're doing their best, but, you know, they got a little bit more soul searching to go. So this is the thing. The medical serpent, that's this. That's the caduceus, bro. I just broke that down. That's this right here. This is your caduceus. One last time before we move on, okay? The caduceus is your heart. Your heart splits in two sections, okay? This is your caduceus right here. Okay? Has nothing to do with anything fucking negative or bad or anything. That's why it's the medical symbol, because it's your heart and your mind coming together. The top of it is the brain. So you'll see it like this. You get me? That's all it is. Well, no, D-moon. No, what you're saying is D-moon. De-moon. Demon. Okay? They took the O out. Okay? But it's demooned. Okay? It's out of sync with nature. Okay? That's how you become demooned. Okay? Because you need to know your lunar astrology and you know, your signs. You know, the signs are for your, okay? You have to know where the moon's going to be, what sign it's going to be in, to know the time of the month that 3-day process that these caduceus teach you about is actually taking place. Yeah, no moon. Exactly. Hey, what up, Joker? It's good to see you guys again, man. So, you know, that's what demon really means. Oh, you watch it. Hey, Linz, stay away from these fucking psychics, okay? Stay away from psychics, okay? They play on basics, okay? They play on basics that are based on how society is operating, that they can tell you. Like, you know, they're always, you're going to spend so much money going to psychics. You know, they're not psychics. Okay? I promise you. I promise you, they're just bleeding you for your money. Okay, there is no specific thing for a specific person and all that kind of shit. None of that shit is real. Okay, these are just swindlers that are these are just people that, like, you know, they just make it real personal because they watch for ticks. Ticks are the way that you move in things when they mention certain subjects that let them know how much you're going to dive into it, right? And that'll just end up diving into your pocket. Okay. So let's move along, right? Because I don't want to freak out too many people. People get freaked out over that shit. All right. So now you know that, like, okay, like, and it's the same thing everywhere you look. Everywhere throughout time, you're going to find the same representations of the same things created over and over again. Yeah. What up, Zen? What's good, man? Yeah, I'm the Book of Johnson, bro. We're just an open book over here. Okay. So 33rd of Masonry, bro, you already know what that is. It's all about the transference of the energy. Okay, look, check this out, right? See this image right here? Look, what do you see here? It's literally the same. It's always going to be the same things, because this is the most important thing that there is. It's you. Okay, all of these symbols. That's what they're taboo is my Taboo is my Facebook page, okay? That's the, I can't change the name of it. You know, it was, I didn't even know that Taboo Kennels was still operating, okay? I thought that, like, I was just posting to Instagram, but it was also posting to my Facebook page, which made it so that my Facebook page just blew up by itself. Okay, that's why I put those automated messages on there, because I don't really pay attention to that page that often, to be honest with you. It just transfers to there, okay? Right, so that, you know, it just happens to be that page is growing exponentially until recently. They've started to try to hinder my reach on that page now. Now that I switched it back to this stuff. All right, look, check this out, right? Because it's always everywhere, yo. It's everywhere. Look, check this out. So you see him holding on to the spinal column here. Right, that's your spine. Okay, that's this. I mean, you can't see the other side of it, but that's this. Okay, that's what he's holding on to right there. All right, now look, if you notice, you got the fish at the bottom of it, right? Little fish in the water, right? You would think that that's just randomly in the statue, but your brain, just like the image I showed you earlier, is the two fish. Okay, the left and the right hemisphere, the fish. All right. Like, here, let me show you. That's your fish, okay? And the funny thing is the inside of the fish looks like the inside of your brain as well, okay? So, you know, so it's already telling you right there, just by that alone, that they're transferring information, all right? That's right from the jump, right? Now, I want you to pay attention, right? The whole thing that we were just talking about earlier. Look at your cerebellum here. Okay. See that? That's this section right here. Bloop. Okay, that's what those two are. And then it goes up like this. And look, check out the numbers on it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Why? You have 4 parts to your brain. Right? But if you notice, there's also the 5 lines that go in between it. Right? Because you got 5 lobes. But only 4 parts respond to the emotion. All right, now look, check this out, right? Look, right here. Notice how the water's coming out of that? Where's it going? You should already know where it's going to go. Look, it goes down here, goes this way, comes out this way. What are we looking at? You starting to see the pattern here? Look, where's this? It's that back left again. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Are you starting to catch it? This is literally all around the world. Like, it's all around the fucking world. You can't miss it. Right? Now look, notice how it pours out here, whereas on this side, it's receiving it. All right? Look, because he's taking it, right? Got his hand on it, receiving it. Now what's red and white? Blood cells. Ugh. You get what bro, it's everywhere. This isn't even the same demograph. This is in like fucking Switzerland or some shit like that. You get me? Like, see the crescent moon? All right, it's all about that moon shit, right? It's the same thing everywhere. Everywhere that you look, every single civilization, you're always going to find the same exact things. It's never going to change. This was the information that, why do you think we had, what do you call it? So many great minds. before these days? Because everybody knew about this. Why do you think people lived for so many years before these days? Because everybody knew about this. This is the thing. This is the very thing that is restricting people from coming up with these great inventions that we used to have. This is the very thing that's restricting people from living as used to we live, because these practices aren't in practice anymore. Let me give you one that they gave you that you think is that they try to convince you is evil, right? Look, check this out. Here, give me this page. We'll just do it on this page. All right, look, right. Hey, what did they tell you about this holiday? They're practicing what you allow them to. That's what they're practicing. Look, check this out, right? What were you told about Easter? Fertility, resurrection, pagan, right? Yeah, that pagan shit, right? Hey, look, everything you were taught about paganism is trying to keep you from utilizing the sun for its purposes. But look, right? Check this out, right? Okay, so you're right? You do have the rabbits, right? Your rabbits, okay? And you also have your eggs. Now, if you take that from the pagan standpoint, right? From man's standpoint, you're going to look at it like this is something that represents reproduction. Right? And what do they tell you about the egg? What did they tell you about the egg from Easter? Anybody? Does anybody know what they told you about the egg? I'm just curious because I never heard what they tried to explain what the egg was, because I know it was something fucking negative bullshit, but new life. Okay, new life. Okay, we'll take that one. That's not a bad one. I don't remember anything negative coming out about that. Well, the fertility would be the rabbit, right? Because rabbits multiply. Okay. All right, so check this out, right? We're going to take it a little bit further here. Okay. So on Easter, you have a rabbit, an egg, and a basket. Right? Those are the three components. That's not shaped like a uterus. Where do you get that from? Have you looked at what a uterus looks like? I mean, I guess I could see where they would claim that, but okay, so check this out, right? Check this out, right? Now, everybody always brings up this one sign, but they always leave out the application of it, right? Ophiuchus. Right? Everybody always brings up Ophiuchus, but they never pay attention to it, right? Ophiuchus starts in, I believe it's the last 2 weeks. It's either 1 week or the last 2 weeks of December. Okay? Now, the thing about Ophiuchus is Ophiuchus stands on the foot of the serpent and holds the head of the serpent. But what people miss about Ophiuchus is the fact that it's not necessarily an actual sign. Okay, it's a grouping of stars, but Ophiuchus encases like half the year. Like it's like a clock around the year, basically. Okay, because he dives into multiple different signs. Okay. Blake, miss us with the bullshit, Blake. You're either here to fucking follow along or get out, okay? Now, listen. All right. Ophiuchus is the key. Ophiuchus is the key to the serpent. This one. Let me explain it to you. All right. I want you to think about this for a minute. Let me draw this circle real quick. Boop. Boop. All right, right. Let's split this. Bing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right? So this is the thing, right? Is Ophiuchus would be like right here. Okay. All right. Now, what you don't know is that the beginning of the year is March. March is when the spring comes in. Okay? April showers bring May flowers, all that shit. Okay? Now, this is the thing. And somebody look this up real quick. Is Ophiuchus in December or November? I'm pretty sure it's December. Now, April 1st is not the beginning of the new year. Because the new year starts when everything is already growing. Okay. It is December, correct? Anybody look it up? Okay. All right, cool. We're moving along. All right. So this is the thing, right? Is as a man, it takes, I think, 68 days for your, we're going to say seed, because we're on TikTok, right? 68 days for your seed of cerebral spinal fluid to mature. Right? 68 days. Okay, so the end of November to the beginning of December. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay. All right, now look, right? So I want you to think about this for a second, right? So it's late November to early December, okay? Now, check this out, right? Now, Easter has, let me show you something real quick. Let's go to Mental Magic. Got to go to Frank's Works. Where is it at? Easter has some components, right? And you don't know what those components are. So you need to know what they are so that you can start to understand what this is, what's really going on, right? So let me show you something. Where's that bag at? Hold on one second. This is my brother Frank's work from Mental Magic Omniverse. I am a representative, well, a minister of these teachings. Just so that you know. Okay. Bink. Okay, so the bag. Okay. The bag is your heart. Okay. The thumbs and the fingers. Okay. The bag itself is the heart. The hand is the thumb and the fingers. Okay. The wristwatch is your circadian rhythm. All right. So the bag that you're holding, right, represents your heart. Okay. Now, beyond that, you have, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The eye. The thalamus. Okay, that's your egg. Okay? That's your egg. This is why they call you egghead. This is why they talk about Humpty Dumpty. Okay, that's the egg. Now, for those of you that don't know, purpose of thalamus. Just so that we know, okay? Small central brain structure that acts as the primary relay station for sensory and motor signals. Traveling to the cerebral cortex, regulates alerts, sleep, and consciousness, while also filtering information to prioritize attention. Okay? Just so that, you know, we're gonna run you through medical stuff that equally yoked, exactly, Big C. See what I mean? Like, y'all don't look. This is why I love having these lives with you guys, is because you guys start to realize the reason that they have you saying the things that you're saying just by paying attention to the things that I'm showing you. All right, there's a lot going on around you. There's a lot going on around you that you don't realize yet. Okay, now. You have the rabbit for adrenaline. That's your adrenaline. Okay. You have the egg for your thalamus. And you have the basket for your heart. Okay. Because what you're learning, right, is how to learn, right? You're creating a new mind. Okay? You're creating a new mind. That's why you put the egg in the basket. Okay? The egg goes in the basket, not the rabbit. Okay? Now, the thing is, hey, what up, monkey? The thing is that Ophiuchus is the starting point. Okay, Ophiuchus is your signal for you to start retention. Why? Because it takes about 68 days for your seed to come to full fruition. All right, you see what the problem is with y'all going around bumping uglies all day long? There are certain deficiencies that you're suffering from, and your children are going to suffer from them too, and it's unavoidable. I know you didn't want to hear that part, but, you know, a lot of you have some out-of-control children right now, and you can't figure out why they can't fucking comprehend things, why they can't grasp things, and why they act all fucking crazy and shit like that. Well, let me explain it to you using science. Right? A lot of people got children that have what are called allergies. That's not natural, right? A lot of people have children that have massive amounts of deficiencies. And that's because nobody practices Easter anymore. You see, the thing is, all right, let me show you something real quick. Let's go with blue, okay? Look, I want you to think about it right here. Oh, hold on. Yeah, of course they have problems. You're going to know exactly why they have problems. You're going to know exactly why right now. I want you to think about this, right? So the thing is that you contain all of the elements from each month. Okay? This is where your astrology comes into play. Okay? Because your astrology tells you the type of minerals that are created during each time of the year. That's what you don't know. You know, it's not about, oh, I'm a fucking fish and I'm a sarcophagus and I do. Fuck all that shit. That shit don't make no sense, okay? Because you contain all of this. So how you've been restricted to just the one where you popped out is fucking beyond me. But in nature, you're in the womb for all of this time, right? So, but if you started practicing your retention at Ophiuchus, and waited until it was, I don't know, probably Easter to start procreating, what happens? Right? What happens? That means that during this time, the man is receiving 1, 2, 3. It's 3 months. It's just, you know, things a little off. But you know, during that time, the man would be receiving all of the elements of the month, right? Which means that if you come around to the time of breeding, which would be springtime, you make a baby, that baby that you produce here is one supercharged motherfucker because it's got all of the elements of nature that are available to create it. Now you see why they got you out of alignment. I just want you to think about that for a minute. Like, you know, and so they tell you, they remove Ophiuchus because Ophiuchus was that was your startup key. That was your time in nature of reproduction. See, the rest of the year, you would just be retaining all of your energy, right? So Ophiuchus, November to April would have you include all of the elements in every single child that you create. This is science based off of nature. You get what I'm saying? So, well, that was the thing, is you don't have to worry about calculating the 3 months if you just go from the time that Ophiuchus comes into play until the time of Easter. It's a perfect schedule. It's literally perfected to make sure that you receive everything that you need. It's a perfect schedule for procreation. Like, any other time that you're making babies, you're bumping up. They got you bumping uglies every month. They're like, oh, you just keep on going. No, the reason that it's not working is because his sperm isn't fucking strong enough to actually fucking create anything. Because you guys are bumping uglies every time that your ovulation cycle starts. You get me? So, you should be waiting at least 3 months in between if you plan on having a really healthy baby. And the last thing you want to let them do is cut that umbilical cord. Don't ever let them do that. Man, miss me with the bullshit, bro. I don't want to hear about how you make sperm in your sleep. It's not the way that you think, okay? Production versus growth. You're focused on the wrong thing. Yeah, we keep producing more and more, but is it getting the time that's necessary for it to mature? Fully grown takes about 68 days. Go look it up. You're basically trying to make a baby with a baby. You're not making a baby with a full-blown fucking fully developed sperm. You get me? When should you be popping them out? Well, I mean, technically, if you don't understand the math behind it, like if you want to fucking make a baby, hold your shit for 3 months. And I guarantee you, why do you think so many people get out of jail and make babies immediately? Think about that. Why do you think people that get out of jail and go smash somebody always get everybody pregnant? They've been holding it. If you're trying to have a baby, have your man hold it for 3 months. I guarantee you, the first time that he touches you, you're getting pregnant. Trust me, I know it works. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it is on both of you because both of you have to deny your urges. No, it doesn't matter the 3 months, Colin. It doesn't matter the 3 months. This was just a schedule that was made for the village to follow behind. You get what I'm saying? It's just letting you know that. But if you want to stay in tune with nature, the time that it's cold outside is basically what? The time that you would be spending in the house the most, right? Your hibernation period, right? So it would make sense for you to hibernate and like completely hibernate during that time, like keep it all to yourself. You get me? This was running off of how the seasons operate, right? But technically it doesn't matter as long as it's 3 months. The Ptah Pharaoh? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You got some statues you need me to look at or something? We need to look at something? What are you what are you talking about? You just that's kind of random. All right, let's see. Which one are we looking for? What's my stance on all the other civilizations? They all existed recently, and you've been convinced that none of them did. No, the Bible's not just a metaphor for what happens in the body. That's just the Torah. That's the Torah. The Torah section. That's why it mentions Genesis, because the gene of Isis, that's your developmental growth. Okay, so the Torah is all about developing man, whereas the New Testament, that's all law. That's what it is. It's law. That's your contract law, your trust law, your ecclesiastic law, your common law, your statutory law, all the things that you find in law, you'll find inside of the New Testament. The New Testament is all contract law. Right and the left. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. 1, 2, or 3? One. All right, so what are they talking about here? Okay, so you've got the growth of the blood going on here right off the bat. It's pretty basic stuff, right? You have the transfer of the seed. Let me shrink this down. Let me show you. Hold on. Let's do it like this. Go in here like this. Give me a new page. Boop. Insert photo. Let's go down to... where's that group of photos at? I think it'll be in the holy shit folder. Let's see. Bro, everything inside of those temples is about your body. It's all about bodily functions, okay? All that law stuff and biblical nonsense came later. Let's see. Is it in here? You just gotta learn the symbols first. And it's funny because, you know, the same stuff that's all about your body is what they created all that law stuff out of. You know, this looks like a reproduction of it right here, but I really don't want a reproduction because they be leaving shit out. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, I got a lot of pictures. I do a lot of research. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Is it in the tablets? No, of course not. Sorry, I know this is taking a second. I haven't looked at this picture yet, so I figure, fuck it, we can do it together. But you're going to have a little patience for it. Nope. Nope. Oh. Dude, if it's not in this folder, I'm going to be upset. Upset, you get it? Let's see. Might have to come back to that one because if I got to go scanning through my photos, I got like 11,000 photos on this thing. But I'm hoping it's right here in this section somewhere. But I already know, but it's already talking about reproduction just off the rip from the hats that they're wearing. That's the big picture, if we can call it that. Oh, come on, where is it? Oh, might be getting to it. No, if it's not in this folder, I'm not searching this whole thing for it. Like, it's just going to have to wait because that'll just take up way too much time. But I'll be able to give you the pieces because I know what picture it is. So I'll be able to give you the pieces of it as we go along. People be freaking out about so much stuff. Remember when everybody was freaked out by Oreo cookies? You remember? I remember when the public was in a panic over the fact that they've been eating Oreo cookies with sigils on them. See how they just be ruining good stuff for you? Damn, it was not in here. We'll have to go back to it. Okay, we'll just have to come back to it at a different time because it's a pain in the ass to go through all that stuff to transfer everything. But look, right here, I'll show you like this. Let me see what folder is this in. Oh, that's in the Google folders. God damn. Okay, look, right? Look, you see the water that everything's traveling through? Okay, you see how she's putting her hand on his shoulder, right? But she's carrying something, right? See how one hand carries, whereas one hand is giving, okay? So she's carrying the seed, right? You see the energy that's being transferred. Now, if you look over here, you've got the three energies, right? Because he's representing the seed itself, okay? So she's transferring the energy, right? See how it touches her and it's going into the seed, right? This is the man's phallus. That's what this is. The phallus, the seed, and the womb, okay? So over here, you have your energy that's regulated, right, in the waters. That's why it's blue, right? You see the blue that transferred, okay? This is your brain stem right here. Now, these are the way that your, what do you call it? Your ventricular segmentation, okay? That's the energy from the heart. That's the rotation of it, right? And you see that it's above the pillars, right? But those pillars are leading up to the brain stem, right? So she's got the seed with the energy in it, right? That's the energy from here is here, but it's represented by this energy. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's your corpus callosum, which is the center of the brain, right? But notice how it's bringing them both together, right? See that, right? Right? So she's carrying this energy. I wish I had the whole picture because you need to see the bottom of it too to make it all connect. Right? So she's got purified energy that's traveling through her. That's why she's in all white. Okay, it's purified. All right, this is your cerebral spinal fluid is basically what this is about, because she's showing reproduction. She's showing growth. Okay, now over here, the serpents that are coming down, right? Look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? The main 7. Same 7 as always. It's the ones that go up to the brain, right? Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, these 2 are on serpents, right? So you got the 3 that are the main part, and then you have the one on top of this serpent, the one on top of this serpent. So out as far as the serpents go, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? See it? 2, 3. 2 and 3. Right? Now, if you notice, there's 3 that are in the center. Right? This part's a little blurry, so I don't want to count that in numbers quite like that. Now, if you notice this part right here, you've got a transition taking place. You see how it's got the red and the white, right? It's moving, right? But that's carried by the waters. And then you have the 3 different seeds that are being produced, right? Because you have yours, and then you have the 2 that you create. You get it? So this is showing growth. It's just we don't have the full picture to be able to determine what it is that is being grown here specifically, because each one will deal with different organs. The problem is that they only give you pictures that are like very specific so that they can reduce the amount of information that you can receive if you actually know these things. That's why there's so many pictures in my library, is because, I'm trying to find all of the pieces to put together. Because the secrets to the human body are literally in all of these temples. The temples are the schools themselves. Okay, that's where you're supposed to learn about these things, right? Where's all your information stored? It's in your temple. So, all the information about you is going to be inside of the temples, right? So, we already know that she represents growth. Anything feminine represents development. Okay, that's why it's always going to be, you're never going to see anything feminine by itself. The reason you won't see it by itself is because what's there to grow? Right? You have to get into the habit of looking at these things, right? Now, as far as, coming up with like psychology and things like that, right? This would be receiving of your emotions, right? The emotions are always external. They're not internal, right? They're always external, right? And the emotions are created by the things that you pass. You get me? So when you're looking at these things, it's not specific. It is specifically about something that's going on internal, but what is going on internal is always in question, because it's not just about a biological development. You get what I'm saying to you? It's also about the type of energy that you're transferring. That's why it's always a transfer. There's always a connection being made. There's always something that brings it all together. You get me? Sometimes you got to sit down and fucking take a listen to somebody, right? But it doesn't matter whether somebody brings you something out of love or out of anger if you yourself are not able to receive them. You get me? Notice how she has her hand on his shoulders. What goes on the shoulders? The world goes on your shoulders, right? So, it's, the women that are in your life are very important because they can either be a burden and put down a weight, or they can be something that takes that burden off of you a little bit, gives you an assist, something that you can lean on. Right? Think about these things for a minute. Islam isn't the true religion. It's not a religion. Like that's the problem is, bro, you can't follow it if you follow the religion. You'll never be right. You'll always be this angry, fucking ready to hurt people, destructive being if you follow behind religion. That's all good, Pablo. It's a good question. But the main reason that I don't have videos on specific things is because I try to get people away from the names and the ideology that they've been given about things. Right? And so until I can show you that it's not that name, just like you, right? You're not your name. Right? If you think that you're your name, you're mistaken. If that's the case, then how come everybody that you know has different names for you? Well, yeah, of course they speak in conscience. Once you know the symbols so that you're able to see these things for what they're trying to tell you about, then it becomes something different within itself, right? These grow. These are things that grow every time that you look at them. And that's the thing that's unique about them, is that these things will tell you the type of people that you're dealing with. Because when they look at it and you ask them to look at it, it's going to tell you what they have and what they hold in their heart is going to come out clear when they start to look at these images, right? Because they'll see things that you won't. Everybody always will. Everybody's always going to see things that you don't, right? There's a basic to this that makes it so that people can start to get the same general message once you actually understand the things. But in reality, these will bring out you. All of this will bring you out. You're going to see certain things in this. Women might see this as, as a woman upholding a man. Men might see this as that's a woman that's submitting to a man. A child might look at this and think that there's like a fucking star bursting out of it. You get what I'm saying? Like there's always going to be a variance, right? But there is a similarity that can be shared, which is the root of these things. The root of these things is a reflection of what's internally going on within you. The separate is the specific message that each person receives by looking at these things, because what you're thinking of when you first see these things doesn't align with what I'm talking about until I tell you about it. And then you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then from that point forward, then now your mind sees this for what it is. And then that becomes what it isn't. Then you start seeing the things that are missing. All right. Look, think about it, right? Now remember, this is conscious. This is transfer of information. This is physical production. That's your first start to everything, is realizing that the men don't represent men and the women don't represent women. This represents physical, whereas this represents transfer. Okay? So if this is physical and this is transfer, then this must be something new that's being introduced. Right? Now, if you think about it from these perspectives, right, you might not be able to see the way that somebody sees something because you haven't seen the thing that they already came to you from. Or you might be so focused on that thing that you don't pay attention to the one that's trying to bring you the new view of it. Right? Because the sun, right? This energy that goes into your eyes is a view. Right? So you yourself can sit there and be so absorbed into someone, right, and lean on them so much that you're not able to see the other things that are going on around you. Sometimes it's the things of your past that are coming towards you that are going to change the way that you what? The way that you're seated in life, right? It's the things that come together, right? The little things that come together that create those thoughts that you have. It's always going to be a mixture, right? You're never solo by yourself. You're always surrounded. There's always somebody that's watching. There's always somebody that's giving. There's always somebody that's taking. There's nothing that you can do to escape these things, right? But where 2 or 3 gather, their what? Their God is with them. Their mind is with them. Their future, their reality, right? Sometimes you got to sit down and take a break and allow somebody else to bring you the things that you're looking for. What should you follow? What's in your heart? That's what you should follow. What's in your heart? Nothing's going to lead you more clearly than your heart. Right? Most people ignore their heart. And the truth of things, the majority of you ignore your hearts. You'll go and do something that you know you shouldn't do. You'll ignore it when it tells you probably shouldn't do this. Right? You'll have that feeling that something could be wrong with what you're doing, but then you'll try to, your mind will throw you some shit that'll have you fucking do it anyway. No, it's not destruction or ego. It could be for you. You see what I mean, though? You see how you get a different thing? See, that just tells me that you need to work on you have it in your heart that you need to work on your ego. Right? It's not about what I'm telling you, it's about what you can see. See, this is the conversation that we were just having about, these things bring out what's really in your heart. I never mentioned this having to do anything with the ego or the death of the ego or anything like that. That's what's in your heart. That's why you've seen it that way. You see how quickly these things work? And there's nothing wrong with that. That just means that that's the thing that you feel like you have to actually get on top of. Right? This is how these things work. This is why people come in and look at these things, and some of them will run out of there quick as shit. Right? Oh, it's fucking... And they'll just dip off. Why? Because that's what's in their heart. You get what I'm saying? What's in her hand? It doesn't really appear that there's something in her hand. Yeah, see how you see that she cares about him? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's different things that are in your heart, yo. Everybody's not going to get the same message. Everybody's not going to see the same things. Right? The questions that you have for me about the things that I see is because you're trying to make sense of what you see. You get what I'm saying? You have answers. You all have answers. You have the answers within you. Sometimes you just got to believe and trust in yourself to know them. Your mind doesn't recognize things that it doesn't already see and that it doesn't already know. That's how it produces the image for you to agree with it, which means that you're all-knowing and that you only get involved in things that you already know, whether you realize it or not. So on that premise, what you're seeing in there is the answer that's for you. Is the Bible true? In many ways it is. In many ways the Bible is true, but anything becomes true if you tell it to a bunch of people and they believe it, right? All right. Think about that for a minute, Spirit. Just run with that. You can inbox me that and I'll go look it up. But I'm about to hop up off of here. I got some law stuff that I got to go study. Ah, interesting, Pablo. That's interesting. What you're going to find, Pablo, is that I bet you if your tattoo is full of symbols and stuff like that, that it's still going to have a similar meaning, but it's going to be in a different way once you actually understand the symbols going on. You'll probably like it even better. Well, welcome, Cassie. That's what I found out. That's what I found out when I started going over my drawings that I used to do. I'll show you guys that one day. But I gotta get running. I got some errands I gotta do for some people. And I hope y'all have a great day. And, you know, come follow along. I'll show you some really interesting shit.